is some of the scenery on one of the walks that I go on, hopefully on a daily basis. And just a little bit more of kind of nature, trees that I enjoy. Clears my mind, recharges my batteries, especially when I go deep off-road into the backcountry wilderness on backpacking, canoeing trips and the sort, which I love to do. Big part of me. And here for you is a big old pine tree along one of the trails where I hike. Try to hike on a daily basis. It doesn't always work out because a lot of times I'm busy on the internet these days, learning new skills. As an old man, ain't she a beauty? Yeah, it's a nice tree. So, hello there, and welcome to my delusional world of optimism and imagination, and sarcasm. I'm Thom with an H, Costea. That's C-O-S-T-E-A. On social media, I'm Thom Costea, author, which I'd like to talk about, among other things, except for Twitter. I'm just plain old Thom Costea because I guess Thom Costea with an author has too many characters. I think it's fair to say I've been an entertainer in one fashion or another for most of my life, going all the way back to grade school when I won short story and public speaking contests, grade 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then through to junior high school in grade 7 and 8. My first short story in grade 3, when I first learned how to write sentences, was The Case of the Missing French Fries. And then my public speaking topics the next couple of years were first, animals that talk in books. Hashtag Rudyard Kipling, The Jungle Book. I also loved The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, going down the Mississippi River in a raft. That was pretty exciting for a young lad. Now, my next topic was after 1969, I did 3 years in a row, and humankind had landed on the moon. And so I did my public speaking presentations on NASA's Apollo program, and thus began my love affair with space exploration and science fiction. I'm giving away lots of hints here. Author, science fiction. Anyway, I also have been a public speaker at many events as an MC, professionally, socially, and personally, as a guest speaker. I ran seminars, and I did a little bit of reading of my fiction, and I also taught classes in creative writing and photography in elementary school, and that was coordinated originally through the 4-H club in Saskatchewan. That's an agricultural club for young people, kind of like the Cub Scouts and Girl Guides idea. They are agriculture based, but branched off and did offered a lot of different courses for kids to learn new things. And I taught them creative writing and photography. And then professionally, I started my career as a journalist. At first, a reporter and then an editor in newspapers and later magazines. Also, an art director for magazines and newsletters, and eventually a little bit of art direction for websites, which I'm now into heavily with my own website. Another hint, I'm not just a foreshadowing expert. Um, I also was a radio journalist and did commentaries in print and broadcast. And then I became a speechwriter, script writer, and a government writer. And I produced videos and was managing editor of magazines, various contracts. I directed some videos, so I do have a little bit of experience at this. But basically, I'm an old man now, and I'm hoping that I can continue to be entertaining as I try and enter a new chapter of my life and launch onto social media platforms. And my son says that I have to do one of these video logs. So I've already posted my first couple of blogs, which are just print. And I'm not venturing into podcasts yet, but maybe that will come. Well, my 22-year-old son, who's helping me out quite a bit with my new chapter in life, is saying that I need to do like 3 or 4 of these video vlogs. It's hard for this old dog to say vlogs. Vlogs just doesn't flow off the tongue. Like blogs is not bad. It's bad enough. Blogs, we used to call them editorials, stories, commentaries, essays, or columns in print. I've written hundreds of columns in print. Anyway, I'm a writer. I've made my life writing sentences. And I've been, tried to do my best. I think I've had some good responses. Been pretty good at times. And trying to remain humble here. I don't think I can keep up to like 3 or 4 vlogs a week, but I'll do my best. I'll try to do a couple at least a week. And then I can do the short ones, though, a lot easier and tease to some of my other material. I've got quite a bit of material on my website. So the reason I'm entering into social media and the internet with my website at my age is, I guess, twofold. One is I've always wanted to publish my own magazine, originally in print. When I started my career as a journalist, I love magazines. In my journal, when I went to university for journalism school, I guess you could say it was a very practical course, not that academic, but it was an awesome course at what is now Toronto Metropolitan University in Toronto. So we had a 3rd-year thesis class, and mine was magazine. So I always wanted a magazine. So now my magazine is a website, and it's freya.com, www.freya.com. And that's Freya, FHREEYA.com, and it is the Freeborn Universal Network, the fun revolution, as I call it. The other reason, though, and the more imminent reason, is that I'm having my first science fiction fantasy novel released by Austin Macaulay Publishers out of London, England. 47 Trees, A Cosmic Crusade, Part 1. That's Part 1 of a trilogy series. And part 2 and 3 are already done and ready to go. So my novel is available at any rate. So I I'm entering the social media to try and sell this book. Of course, I haven't made any money yet, but I'm hoping, for a first time science fiction fantasy novel like mine, that I'm able to get in a lot of pre-order sales, and that maybe it'll take off. One can only hope. But even if it doesn't take off and it doesn't do fantastically, hopefully it will. But if it doesn't, I've still accomplished a lot in my life at this point. I've made a living, as I say, as a professional writer, journalist, and a communications consultant and director all my life. And now I'm in my older years, going back to what I've always wanted to do. I do have one other published book of short fiction and photography, which also has illustrations and artwork. That's Campfire Symmetry, with illustrations by Burton Penner. And I'm just working to get that up for sale as well. Although back when I did it originally, like almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, just over 20 years ago, I was just selling the soft cover versions that I printed up out of my own resources. At any rate, I'm hoping that this whole enterprise is a success, but it's been very difficult to get my book published. First of all, a little less difficult, but still a lot of work to maintain social media and a website, which I'm about to find out. But the original process of writing this novel, turning it into 3 novels for a trilogy series, finding a publisher online, and meeting all their requirements, which are many, and trying to find an agent, which I never did, so I guess I'm my own agent. To do all that and to get to this point where I have a book being published. I received my paperback copies, the author's copies, just the other day, and I got a 1-800 phone call from, I didn't know who it was, and as usual, I didn't answer those because many of them are scams. And it was a recording, a voicemail from one of the couriers, FedEx or whatever, whichever one it was, I think it was, telling me I had to pay duty on a delivery, and if I didn't pay the duty, it wouldn't get delivered. And in order to get it delivered on time, please go online and to this web address and pay the duty. So when I actually paid the duty on my author's complimentary copies of my book, which is not that many, so it was not very much money to pay for the duty, but it all of a sudden hit me. Oh my gosh, I've done it. I have a novel out there. It's internationally published, internationally available, not only online to order, but at retailers, bookstores, in North America, in Europe, very least United Kingdom, and as well, I believe in United Arab Emirates and Australia, New Zealand. I think those countries are where Austin Macaulay Publishers does market their products, like my book. So again, 47 trees, that's numeral 47 trees, colon, Cosmic Crusade, part 1, Thom Costea with an H, Costea. And that last name, Costea, is another story. We'll get into that. So my first blog starts out that I'm delusional and I'm Thom with an H, although all through grade school I was Thom without the H. I'm Thom with the H because it's Thomas on my birth certificate. But I wasn't Thom with an H, and I wasn't Thomas. I was just plain old H-less Thom in grade school. And then to make matters worse, my teachers always put a U on the end of my name, Costea. So it's kind of pronounced Costea, and then we anglicized it to Costea. I always got teased because people would ask me, geez, that's a nice pair of shoes you have there, Tom. How much did they cost you? Uh, and so my last name is it's a good story. And all through grade school, I was Thom Costea with the U on the end of Costea. So they put a U on, Jacques Cousteau, the famous oceanographer. My mother is French, so perhaps that's ironic. She was born Chevalier, Marguerite Chevalier, and love her to death. Hi, Mom. And where was I going with that? Or I guess where I'm going is to finish off here, perhaps just my introductory vlog is that the Freeborn Universal Network, the fun place to be, or the fun revolution, is kind of a whole outlook on life. I guess it's about having fun and enjoying life, and then also it's about what do we want out of life? Do you not want to be healthy, obviously, but do you not want to just have fun? And like don't mean just have fun. You can have fun in a lot of different ways through your professional life, through other things, which I'm just about to talk to. I'm getting ahead of myself, but mind you, I don't even have my cheat notes with me here. But also, besides having fun and enjoying life, let's all go to the middle of the road and work out some practical solutions to all the problems that apparently the planet is facing right now. So instead of ranting and raving from the ditch on either extreme side of the road, let's stop shouting out our biased personal agendas, or not personal agendas, sometimes propaganda agendas, which are just too extreme and go too far. You've got a good point to make, both sides of the spectrum, okay? Don't over-exaggerate your point. Let's come to the middle of the road with the points that you want to make, opinions of what you think we should do, and what are the priorities for society, I guess. Social values, okay, the Freeborn Universal Network is current and cultural dialogue, entertainment, journalism, artwork, and commentary on social values, nature. I'm very big into nature and natural resources. Now, to have fun in life, if that's part of my premise, how do you do that? Well, you have to find inner peace and freedom to live life the way you want to live it, and do the things you want to do, and have the courage to do the things that you want to do, and enjoy life. And there's lots of different ways of enjoying life. So I enjoy life. Well, writing is number one for me. I really enjoy it, and I like it's a when I get going on some good creative content, it's an adrenaline rush for sure, and it still is at my old age. I play sports. I've always been athletic and an athlete, and I continue to play sports even at my older age. And I love nature. I love to get out and go on wilderness trips. Wilderness camping has been a passion of mine. In my bio on my website, I talk about and just paddling and hiking my way into the Church of Wilderness, and to find the spirit of wilderness and adventure, and you could find some tranquility, and you could find inner strength, because you got to survive where there's no roads, and you have to carry everything you need into the bush or the backcountry or the outback. I can't do an Australian accent. I'm not going to try it right now. Not my first vlog. I was nervous there to start out, but hopefully I'm getting going. And next time, definitely cheat notes. So, middle of the road. Check me out, Freya, FHREEYA.com. And Frontier Shield Journal is one of the sections on Freya.com. And that's where I kind of like to examine the pertinent issues for the environment and the economy altogether. I think still, well, the environment's a lot more important than it was 30, 40 years ago. Still, the most important thing, probably among the most important things, is definitely economic opportunities and standard of living. That's important to people. I mean, you can't just drop everything and, for example, stop burning fossil fuels like overnight. But I think that it's legitimate. The science is legitimate that at least something's happening. I don't know to what degree. And Frontier Shield Journal does have the opening story on my website on freya.com. It's the planetary tug of war. And it looks at both sides of the issue. And again, I'm just trying to use some common sense, come up with some practical solutions. How can we get to where we need to be? And hopefully get people to feel good about themselves. And then if they feel good about themselves, they can come to the middle of the road with a good attitude. And hopefully we can all just get along together and work out some practical solutions. That I think education and healthcare, of course, are very important to everyone as well. But I think the economic opportunities are very important. And I advocate joint ventures instead of government regulating the hell out of industry. Let's join with industry and invest in these companies. And, we still have to regulate for the environment. There's varying opinions on that, but we need to still have economies so people can have jobs and survive, and feed their families or themselves, and hopefully have the freedom to follow your interests and enjoy life and have a good time. We're very lucky. Very lucky. I think we're very lucky. Whenever my son or friends get down because they've got some issues to deal with, which we all have our issues. But when you look at how bad it's going, if you live in Canada, at least where I live, you live inside a house with indoor plumbing, you can walk into a store and buy groceries. I think that's amazing because I love food. So I want to do vlogs on some wilderness camping stuff, and I want to do I'm a great cook. Well, that's what my grandmother used to tell me because she taught me, and she was the greatest ever. And I got stories about her and my grandfather and my grandfather on my mom's side as well. Those are my dad's side, and my grandparents on my mom's side as well. So I've had great family and friends. I've been relatively healthy all my life. Shoot, I'm a lucky man. I'm so fortunate. Really, look at the big picture. If you're not scrounging for food and there's no bombs flying over your head, right? How lucky are we? We're very lucky. So let's just all get along. We have enough issues to deal with. Let's all just get along, come to the middle of the road, be happy, have fun, and pre-order a copy of 47 Trees, A Cosmic Crusade, Part 1, by me, Thom Costea, THOMCOSTEA. I'm at freya.com. So I don't know, maybe my son will show me how to put those tags or whatever they're called at the bottom of this video, but that's why I'm spelling everything out. Freya, FHREEYA. I know it's kind of a weird one, but hopefully it's catchy and it'll catch on. It'll become a trend. All right, let's see how that went.